at 10 AB. Bobby Meyerhoff, Rascal Rap, clear fence 17. That's the Rock Oxer going down the hill from there now to the cavalry camp. Close to home for Bobby. His third round of the day. Whilst LC O'Shaughnessy and Andre Nielsen are coming for the second half of the water. So clear 12 A and B there for Andre Nielsen, LC O'Shaughnessy. They go on to the back stretch of the course. Bobby Meyerhoff taking on both parts of the Western Town, looking towards his last jump here on the CIC 3-star track. And he is safely home. Bobby Meyerhoff, Rascal Rap. I know he's into time. The question is just how much. Nobody catching the time allowed of 6 minutes 40 in the CIC 3-star. LC O'Shaughnessy has had a refusal in the coffin, fence 14. We'll get confirmation of which element of the coffin. About 20 penalties there for Andre. And a second refusal now at fence 14 for Andre Nielsen, LC O'Shaughnessy. So having had 3 attempts there, Andre Nielsen and LC O'Shaughnessy, they have had 3 refusals, and that is unfortunately elimination. So very nearly a full minute over the time for Bobby Meyerhoff and a Rascal Rap. .2 time penalties, we reckon, for Rascal Rap and Bobby Meyerhoff. So clear both parts of the farmyard for Chris Talley, Sandro Starr, our final rider of the CIC 3-star, and they are the dressage leaders on 29.3. Hannah Salazar's Oldenburger Thoroughbred Cross, Sandro Starr. Contested the 3-star at both Jersey Fresh and at Great Meadow this year in Virginia. Coming up through the national intermediate and advanced levels, including taking a 4th place finish in the intermediate championships at the American Eventing Championships at Tryon, North Carolina last year. Sandro Starr jumps fence 12 A and B and goes onto the back stretch of this CIC 3-star track. 6 minutes 40 the time. But Chris has quite a bit in hand here. Fleecewex Royal and Tammy Smith are the second place rider. They're on 35.4. So Chris could be very nearly 15 seconds over the optimum and still remain the leader. But of course, wouldn't want to throw away too much advantage going into tomorrow when each pole costs a full 4 penalties. Clear fence 14. The coffin for Chris Talley and Sandro Starr. So our next competition out of the start box, and it's due in about 15 minutes, is going to be the Continental Junior Championships for riders under 18, teams and individuals representing areas from coast to coast of the United States at the international 1-star level. Say our first one is scheduled for 1:10, and we're going to do our very best together with the tremendous support of our volunteer fence judges to be ready to start at that time. Clear fence 17, the Rock Ox are here on our left-hand side. Sandro Starr, Chris Talley coming towards home. Wrapping up our CIC three-star division. We've got one-star riders all the way home today. The Continental Junior Championships will be followed by the Senior CCI one-star. But Chris Talley and Sandro Starr very nicely through the cavalry camp here on our left-hand side. 18AB going on to the Western Town. He's 3 jumping efforts from home, and if he can be within 15 or so seconds of that time allowed of 6 minutes 40, he will remain the leader of the CIC three-star here today at the event at Rebecca Farm. And clear the last for Chris Talley and Sandro Starr. So we'll get his time in just a moment. So could afford to be about 15 seconds. We think he might be closer to about 30 seconds over the time. So I think Tammy Smith is going to be our CIC three-star leader. So the results in for the CIC 3-star. Tammy Smith, Fleeceworks Royal will be our leaders going into tomorrow on 35.4. Hawley Bennett Awad and Jolly Bow second. Sandro Starr and Chris Talley dropping to eventual third on 11.6 time penalties. Emily Libby and Jacobi fourth. Lauren Billies will be fifth with Castle Archfield Purdy for Puerto Rico. So on the way up to fence 6 now, second starter of the day, Catherine Christopher and Frodo the Shire in this Adequan FEI North American Youth Championships presented by Gotham North. Our thanks to Adequan for their long-term title sponsorship of this and their continued support to equestrianism here in the United States of America. And also to Gotham North, long-time presenting sponsors of this, the equestrian activities of Georgina Bloomberg. Gotham North, Georgina is herself a rider who rides to the 5-star level in show jumping and ridden on US Nations Cup teams and is a graduate of the North American Youth Championship system. So clear the brush at 7 for Catherine Christopher, Frodo the Shire, whilst clear fence 14, the Honey Bear Table. Rachel McGregor, Catch Me If You Can, our trailblazers today. They're going on to the Bayou next of all. They're going to jump the canoe and brush at 15. Down in the Bayou. 15AB it is on the final course selected for the 1-star Junior Championships. New starter, number 704, Kalia England with Zyda. 11th after dressage on 34 penalties for Kalia. The number 1 rider for her team. So coming to the main water complex here, Catherine Christopher, Frodo the Shire at the Moose Drop. I had to pick up the fish here, the final element. They go on now through the second splash to take on the corner. So clear of the corner. Catherine Christopher, Frodo the Shire go on just out of our view now towards the Hobbit House to brush at 12A and B. Whilst our new starter, Kalia England and Zyda, clear the first 3 or 4 at this stage. Kalia High School student has been the highest placed young rider in the 1-star twin this spring down in California. Also were one of the best young riders in the 1-star at Aspen Farms this year as well. So clear as far as fence 4, the Tricana for Kalia England and Zyda, our latest starter. They go to the hedge to Dinosaur at 5AB. First combination fence on course for our North American junior competitors. Rachel McGregor, Catch Me If You Can. Clear fence 18, the Western Town, just 1 to go. It is the flower ramp for the 1-stars there with the green flowers. They jump that to complete their course and come home. Have they made it inside 7 minutes? Of course, they have got those 20 jumping penalties picked up earlier on the course at the roll top feeder to corner 6AB. Clear the coffin at 13, A, B, and C for Catherine Christopher, Frodo the Shire. Whilst just approaching fence 6, the roll top feeder to corner is Kalia England riding Zyda. 14 time faults, we reckon. 35 seconds over the optimum for Rachel McGregor and Catch Me If You Can. Whilst clear of fence 6AB, Kalia England and Zyda. Catherine Christopher, Frodo the Shire, number 702. Are furthest around the course at the moment. They should be in the area of the Bayou at 15AB. And they are clear of that. So on up the hill to the Rock Oxer, just behind the Trade Village. Everything for the horse, hound, home and human there inside our Trade Village once again at the event at Rebecca Farm. So Catch Me If You Can, 20 for jumping, 14 for time, 67.7 penalties. Catherine Christopher, Frodo the Shire, on their way down now to the cavalry camp. Just started number 705, Grey Area, ridden by William Jarrell. Team rider for Area 1 in New England. William, who attends Buckingham Brown and Nichols School, was second in the intermediate at Ocala this year, as well as being an under-18 rider for Area 1, also a nationally ranked wrestler. This horse, Grey Area, known as Skippy, it's his 3rd time at these youth championships, having successfully completed at both the junior 1-star and young rider 2-star level in the past. William and Grey Area, 16th position, 36.3 penalties. Just watching through the Western Village there, Catherine Christopher and Frodo the Shire, our second hopeful finisher in the National Junior Championships. So Catherine Christopher and Frodo the Shire could be very close to that 7 minutes optimum time. I don't think they've quite caught it, but probably less than a half dozen seconds over. William Jarrell, clear fence 5 with grey area. Fence 5 on our course is the Hedge to Dinosaur double. .707 was the time elapsed there for our second round of the day. Catherine Christopher and Frodo the Shire. That's going to be 2.8 time penalties for them. Clear fence 12. Kalia England and Zyder. Fence 12 is the Hobbit House to Brush after the main water complex area here just below us. So they go on to the coffin next at 13 A, B and C. So just coming towards the brush in the middle of the course, fence 7, William Jarrell in grey area. Ahead of them, Kalia England and Zyder are on their way to the Bayou at 15 A and B. Clear through there by the sounds of things for Kalia England and Zyder. We'll see her pretty much all the way home now. William Jarrell in grey area in our view as they come towards the farmyard. And we have a new starter in the shape of number 706, Grace Smith with Sir Salsford Nazar. Grace from Area 3, down there in the sunny southeast, Florida, Georgia, those sort of states in Area 3 of US eventing. Grace, who attends the Heritage School, completed the Virginia Horse Trials 1-star and got her qualifying score for juniors at the Ocala Jockey Club in 2017. This horse, the Salsford Nazar, came over from Ireland in 2016 and has gone with Grace up through the levels from novice right up to the international preliminary CCI 1-star level. They're on 37.3 penalties. William Jarrell in grey area, clear the main water, just going to splash through this secondary water and onto the corner, and all good for them as they go on to the Hobbit House to Brush at 12 AB. Kalia England and Zyder coming towards home. 7 minutes still looking tough to get for our first juniors. Quite often, though, the number one rider in a team is instructed to go out there and get the clear, not necessarily to hunt down the optimum time. Valuable information from these cross-country trailblazers for each of their area teams, the second, third and fourth rider rotation. Kalia England and Zyder safely home, and as far as we can gather, with a clear jumping, and it shouldn't be too many time penalties. I would imagine probably less than 30 seconds over the optimum. William Jarrell in grey area clear the Hobbit House to Brush at 12, going on to the coffin at 13 ABC. 7 minutes 29 it is, in fact, for Kalia England and Zyder, so that's going to be 11.6 time penalties to add to their score. Grace Smith and Sir Salsford Nazar just over, about to take on fence 6A and B. That's the roll top feeder to corner. Caused a problem early on in the division, but jumping well now, as it looks to do so for Grace. So Gray Smith is the last of the first rider rotation. We do have a team from Area 5 down Texas way with just 3 riders, so they don't send somebody out in this slot, the number 1 slot. They'll take their chances in slots 2, 3, and 4 of the rider rotation. So Gray Smith represents our final first team rider. William Jarrell and Grey Area, clear fence 16, the Rock Ox are going down to the cavalry camp on our left-hand side. We have a new starter, Macy Beach, riding Chasing Moonlight, number 707. They're an individual rider, not part of a team, chasing individual glory. They're on 39.1 in the dressage. Macy Beach, who's in high school, was a top 5 finisher in the 1-star at Virginia with Chasing Moonlight. A 10-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred, who Macy describes as merely tolerating dressage. Clear the moose, down the drop, and about to pick up the fish. All 3 elements of the main water, no problem at all there for Gray Smith riding Sir Saltsford Nazar. Splashing through on her way to the corner. Good job all the way through the water. William Jarrell and Grey Area also home again. As far as we can gather, is going to be over the time of 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 8 seconds, so it's not bad. It is going to be 3.2 time penalties for Grey Area and William Jarrell. Gray Smith, Sir Saltsford Nazar, clear through the coffin. 13 A, B, and C, galloping along the roadside now to the Honey Bear table at 14, and then down at the brick house by the main public entrance, it's going to be the bayou fence, the canoe, and the brush lying in wait for our junior riders at 15 AB. Chasing Moonlight and Macy Beach. They've just jumped through the farmyard in front of us. We've got a new starter as well as we start the second team rider rotation. It's Factor 5, ridden by Blake Park. Number 708, 20th position after dressage on a 38.6 score for Blake. Individual rider in the Junior Championships, Chasing Moonlight, ridden by Macy Beach. Through the water at 9 ABC, now over the corner at 10. So that new starter, Blake Park, riding Factor 5. An Area 8 young rider. And part of the team that's the mixed team there for Area 6, Area 8. Blake, very accomplished, a classically trained pianist as well. Sounds like we've got 20 penalties on the card. At fence 18, the Western Town. For Sir Saltsford Nazar and Grace Smith, the final team rider in the first rider rotation. So Grace Smith's to Saltsford Nazar home, but unfortunately with those 20 penalties just at the final moments of their round. At 18B, the Western Town. Macy Beach and Chasing Moonlight are our furthest around the course now. They're on the back straight heading towards the Bayou. Blake Park, factor 5. Are coming at us from fence 6AB towards the brush at 7. It's a call for a silver Kia with an Idaho license plate. The license plate 8BKS725. It needs to be moved now. It's near the show office, and people can't move their trailers out of the day trailer parking lot. So a silver Kia with Idaho plates 8 Bravo Kilo Sierra 725. That needs to be moved immediately, please. Olivia Wall has left the start box as Mandolin R. Fourth after dressage on 31.7 for Mandolin. Mandolin R and Olivia Wall from Area 2, part of the leading Area 2 team. Olivia is going up to the University of Kentucky in the autumn. And this combination placed fourth in the one-star Virginia Horse Trials in Lexington, Virginia. Andy Bowles' event. Andy, many years the technical delegate of these North American Youth Championships. We've got a finisher there in Macy Beach and Chasing Moonlight. Past Blake Park and factor 5. Jump fence 10, the corner coming out of the water. They go on to the picnic table at 11. Six minutes 55, the time taken for Macy Beach and Chasing Moonlight. So they get the time, no problem at all there. So they stay on their 39.1 dressage score. 15.2 it was a moment or two before for Grace Smith and Sir Saltsford Nazar. Olivia Wall and Mandolin R. Clear fence 6. That double over there in the corner of the property. Roll top feeder to corner. Coming back to the brush at 7. Olivia Wall, Mandolin R clear the brush at 7. Ahead of them, Blake Park and factor 5. Keeping an ear out for them because they're out of our view. Going towards the Bayou. We've got a new starter as well, number 710, Georgia Phillips. Georgia with Menu Rendezvous. 25th position on 43.5 after dressage. Georgia from Area 5. Attends the Texas Connections Academy in Houston. Number 710, Georgia Phillips and Menu Rendezvous took a top 10 finish in the International One Star at Virginia earlier on this year. Blake Park riding factor 5. Clear the cavalry camp at 17 A and B. Now, pootling along here towards the Western Town. The final combination on course for the North American Junior Championship competitors. Olivia Wall, Mandolin, clear through the water, 3 elements of the water, 9 ABC, and then quickly splashing back into the lower pond and over the corner at 10. So clear the western time, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch the 7-minute time. Blake Park riding Factor 5. Lines up on the last fence on course, the flower box. (7 minutes 25), so that's going to be 10 time faults for Blake Park and Factor 5 to add to their 38.6 dressage score. Olivia Wall, Mandolin R, clear fence 13, A, B and C, the Coffin. On they go, up the hill, alongside the road to the Honey Bear table. Georgia Phillips, Menu Rendezvous, they've cleared fence 6, the double over there in the corner. That combination of roll top feeder onto corner, an accuracy question. And now they come on the long gallop down to the brush. The brush will take jumping from a gallop. If they've got their horses in balance, it's a question of a test here of their riding and horsemanship, what pace they choose. To achieve the 7 minutes, they really need to take it at the gallop, but for safety's sake, if they're not feeling that they're properly in balance, it's better to make the adjustment and jump it safely. New starter number 711, Isabella Gunningham and Callie Cool. Isabella, who attends Forest Ridge School, comes to us from Area 7, which is our local area here in Montana. She plays varsity tennis for her high school. Callie Cool was second at the Woodside International Horse Trials in October and did very well at the Ocala International 3-Day Festival this spring in the CCI1 Star. (36.6), 18th position after dressage. Ahead of Isabella on course, Georgia Phillips and Menu Rendezvous have just stormed through the waters below us at 9 ABC and 10. Finisher, Olivia Wall, Mandolin R. 31.7 was their dressage penalty score. If they can be close to the 7 minutes, they could button down an individual medal in these championships. 7 minutes, 7 seconds. So 2.8 time penalties for Olivia and Mandolin R. That's one of the faster ones of the day. In fact, equal with Frodo the Shire and Catherine Christopher, and 1 second faster than Grey Area and William Jarrell. Of course, Macy Beach and Chasing Moonlight are our only ones clear inside the time so far, but Olivia Wall and Mandolin R will stay in front of them. Georgia Phillips, Menu Rendezvous clear the Coffin at 13, A, B and C. Georgia Phillips, Menu Rendezvous now clear of the Honey Bear table, going on to the Bayou. Over at fence 6, Isabella Gunningham and Callie Cool. Isabella Gunningham and Callie Cool clear the brush at 7. They go on to the farmyard, whilst clear fence 16, the Rock Oxer. And now through the cavalry camp. for Georgia Phillips. Menu Rendezvous. New starter, India Doyle and Little Oliver, number 712. They leave the start box as through the farmyard comes Isabella Gunningham and Callie Cool. Our new starter, India Doyle, is from Area 1, attends school at St George's, and has completed no less than 11 one-star level competitions. So Callie Cool, Isabella Gunningham dropping down into the water, jumping the third and final element there of fence 9, the fish, going on through the splash now to the corner at 10, whilst coming to the flower box at the last is Menu Rendezvous and Georgia Phillips. 43.5 was their dressage score. They're starting to get closer and closer to this optimum time, still just the one inside. Six minutes 53 there, a moment or two ago for Menu Rendezvous and Georgia Phillips. So that is the fastest of the day. It's inside the time, and that could be very helpful to them. It's going to move them up into at least 20th position, but it's very close, and any time penalties for those yet to come could see things change quite considerably. India Doyle, Little Oliver, they are over at fence 6, making the gallop back down towards the brush here, then the farmyard and the main water complex. Over at fence 14, the Honey Bear table. It's Isabella Gunningham and Callie Cool. They go on to the Louisiana Bayou next of all at 15 AB. Isabella Gunningham, Callie Cool. Clear fence 15. Whilst India Doyle, Little Oliver clear the brush in the middle of the course. That's going to be fence 7 as it is on the Junior Championship course. Next up, the Farmyard double at 8 AB. New starter. This is the final rider in the second team rider rotation. Jesse Schwartz with WHF Kitaro. Jesse Schwartz from Area 3 with this horse WHF Kitaro. They scored a 38.8 in the dressage. They're over the train, going on to the table at 2. Here's Little Oliver and India Doyle down in the water. Clear the fish at 9C, got in a little bit close to it. Going through the splash now to take on the corner at 10. Pops that. Next up for them is the picnic table at 11. Isabella Gunningham and Callie Cool in the interim. Jump through the saloon doors at the Western Town and jump the second. So that's going to be 1.2 time penalties, very close to the optimum, but just a couple of faults. India Doyle, Little Oliver, clear fence 14, the Honey Bear table. So next up for them is the second water complex, the Bayou at 15. Jesse Schwartz and WHF Kataro have jumped fence 6, so they come back here now into the body of the Kirk to jump the brush at 7 and then set themselves up for this little area of the course here from the farmyard through the 2 water splashes and on to the picnic table and Hobbit House to brush all the way from fence 8 right the way around to 12. Jesse Schwartz, WHF Katara, clear through the farmyard, so they're setting up for the water. We've got a new starter as well. Individual rider Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn have left the start box. Just napping here a little bit at the Moose. I think they're going to get away with that. Continued going forward. Down the drop, setting up for the Fish now. So Jesse Schwartz, WHF Katara, over the corner at 10 and heading on from there now to the picnic table at 11. Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn. Grace, who attends Lewisburg High School. He's had numerous top 5 finishes at prelim with Why Not Glenn and top finishes in the junior division with a 5th place at Texas Rose in the 1 star. Little Oliver home in 6 minutes 47 seconds, so blasts the optimum time there to stay on 34.5 dressage. Jesse Schwartz, WHF Katara, clear the coffin at 13. Grace Peters, Why Not Glenn on their way to fence 5. In fact, on their way to fence 6 as I look across the roll top feeder to corner. So Little Oliver and India Doyle clear inside the time there a moment ago, up from 12th to at least 9th position. Jesse Schwartz, WHF Katara, around behind us, taking on the likes of the Coffin. Indeed, they're further around than that. They're over the cavalry camp at 17. We've got a new starter as well as we start the 3rd team rider rotation with Caitlin Vosler and clear approval number 715, 5th after dressage on 31.8 penalties. And it is Why Not Glenn, owned and ridden by Grace Peters, that comes to the farmyard here in the middle of the field. The farmyard double for these 1-star riders coming up at 8. A and B, the short internal distance there from the barn roof out over the trailer. They come out wide now over towards the link road to jump the 3 elements of the water here, starting out over the Moose. We think we've got a finisher inside the time there with WHF Katara and Jesse Schwartz. We'll get confirmation in just a moment. Big bold jump into the water here. But a glance off to the left-hand side of the Fish for Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn. Jesse Schwartz, WHF Qatar, 6 minutes 46. So again, flying inside the optimum time to stay on the dressage score of 38.8. So 20 penalties at 9C for Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn. Now clear the corner at 10. They go on from there to the picnic table at 11. That new starter, Caitlin Vosler, and clear approval just a few moments ago. 31.8, as I said, fifth after dressage. Very proud to represent Area 6 at the North American Youth Championships, and having completed their first CCIJ1 start in order to be qualified to come here. Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn, clear fence 12. That is the Hobbit House to Brush. They go into the coffin at 13 ABC. .714 Grace Peters, Why Not Glenn, clear fence 14, the Honey Bear table. Off they go now to the Bayou, the canoe and the brush fence at 15 A and B down by the brick house. Caitlin Vosler and clear approval. Number 715, clear the brush in the middle of the course at 7. And picking up a nice pace now on their approach to the farmyard. We have another new starter. 716, Maya Kantarovsky and Kiltubbard Rebel. 36.3 is the penalty score for this combination. Kiltubbard Rebel was a well-placed horse in the Irish Sport Horse, the Irish Eventing Ireland 5-year-old series. Maya is an auditing participant of the US Equestrian E18 program. The E18 and the E25 panels receiving training from Leslie Law, the 2004 Olympic individual gold medalist. We're going to have a refusal here at 9A for Caitlin Vosler and clear approval. They drop down into the water and they clear the fish. So just 20 penalties there at 9 as they go onto the corner at 10. Maya Kantarovsky and Kiltubbard Rebel, they clear fence 5, whilst Why Not Glenn and Grace Peters jump the last to come safely home in this Junior Championships cross country. Caitlin Vosler, clear approval now, clear over fence 11. The picnic table turning back from there towards the Hobbit House to Brush at 12 AB. .6 time penalties, we reckon there, for Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn. .20 jumping, 15.6 time penalties, so 68.3. Remember, they were a team rider as well. We are in the third team rider rotation now with Caitlin Vosler and clear approval. Grace Peters and Why Not Glenn, my apologies, are not a team rider. They compete as individuals in the Junior Championships. Maya Kantarovsky, Kiltubbard Rebel over the brush at fence 7 in the middle of the course, which means that it is our dressage leader, Mackenzie Wickman and Dasset Profile, who are being counted down in the start box. Leading on 28.6 in the Junior Championships. They're away and over the first-class carriage of the Montana train. Mackenzie Wickman and Dasset Profile. They won the 2017 Area 5 Preliminary Championships. They won Rocking Horse Preliminary Division as well. Dasset Profile Pro, as he's known. And Mackenzie have had a lot of wins to their credit, but the individual gold here in the Junior Championships is very much within their reach. Maya Kantarovsky, Kiltubbered Rebel, just a little bit sticky through the farmyard. Glance the flag off the right-hand side of the barn roof. Just see that being replaced by our hard-working fence judge down there. Mackenzie Wickman and Dasset Profile. They should be on their way now, about to gallop out towards fence 6AB, the roll top to corner. Caitlin Vosler and clear approval. Clear fence 18, that's the Western Town. Just one to go. The flower box at 19 to bring them home. They have 20 penalties here from the water a moment ago, but they're safely home in the Junior Championships. Maya Kantarovsky, Kiltubbered Rebel. Number 716, clear at fence 12. The Hobbit House to brush. They go onto the coffin. So 15.2 time penalty total there for clear approval and Caitlin Vosler to go with their 20 jumping. Maya Kantarovsky, Kiltubbered Rebel, clear fence 14. The Honey Bear table, they go onto the canoe and brush in the bayou at 15 AB. Dasset Profile, Mackenzie Wickman are dressage leaders in this competition, coming to the brush at 7. Next start is going to be Caitlin Rudd with Up to You de l'Orage. Caitlin is a student at the Prairie School. Was 8th in the one star at the Carolina International this year. With Up to You de l'Orage, also 3rd in the International one star at Red Hills in Tallahassee, Florida in 2017. Up to You de l'Orage has that very fancy show name, but he's just simply known as Kevin at home. Caitlin Rudd on 34.6 penalties. They're away and over the train at 1. Mackenzie Wickman, Dasset Profile. Coming right out of the stringing on the link road to find their line here to the water. Over the moose, steps on the drop. And just tumbling down a little bit. Free falling into the water as they go on to the fish and away. And splash to corner at 10. Gets in a bit deep underneath that corner as well. They just want to really kick on the next couple of jumps. Attack them, get jumping well. Some big questions yet to come on this junior track. Caitlin Rudd, Up to You de l'Orage. Over fences 3 and 4 going on to the first combination on course, the Hedge to Dinosaur at 5 AB. Well, down in the hospitality tent in the trade fair, they'd be delighted to see you if you'd like to join us for dinner tonight as part of our competitors' dinner here at the event at Rebecca Farm. We still do have some tickets available. There are details in the show program about tonight's activities, and you can pick up tickets at the hospitality tent down in the Trade Village. And if you haven't been through the Trade Village yet, make sure you do walk through it at some stage during your visit to the event at Rebecca Farm. A huge array of food trucks down there, as well as inside the trade fair itself. A little bit of everything for horse, hound, home, and human. So, number 716, Maya Kantarovsky and Kiltubbered Rebel come home in 7 minutes and 16 seconds. So that's 6.4 time penalties. So I'll go on to a 42.7 score. Well, we just hear that Canyon Walker and riding Kenneth Street won't be starting in the junior championships today, so that's going to drop their team down to being a three-man strong team, and that's the Area 1 team that will suffer there. So their team challenge will be all done here very shortly when the third team rider for Area 1 goes out and about. Mackenzie Wickman and Dasset Profile over in the cavalry camp. Really nice jumps through the two elements over there. They're galloping on towards the western town. Sammy Crandell, Fernhill Chaos leaving the start box. Caitlin Rudd and Up To You de Larage, or Kevin. They come to the main water here just below us at 9A, B and C. Mackenzie Wickman, Dasset Profile. Leader after dressage. If they can be clear inside the time, they will go and hang on to their overnight gold medal position. They'll jump last in tomorrow's show jumping. And looks set to be inside the time. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. But Mackenzie Wickman and Dasset Profile have done a great job here in the Junior Championships. Clear and very likely inside the time to remain in gold medal position. 6 minutes, 50 seconds for Dasset Profile, Mackenzie Wickman. Sammy Crandell, Fernhill Chaos, number 719, clear 3 and 4, clear also 5AB. We see them on their way to 6A and B next up. Caitlin Rudd and Up To You de Larage behind us, heading towards the Bayou at 15. Sammy Crandell and Fernhill Chaos clear that double over there in the corner at fence 6. They come back towards us to jump the brush at 7. Ryan Wood, team rider with Galway Blazer, is actually going to wrap up the third team rider rotation in a moment. Ryan and the Irish horse Galway Blazer. Ryan attends the University of Central Florida. I recently won the Rocking Horse Winter 2 Horse Trials, placed second at the Ocala Winter Horse Trials, and qualified to come to the North American Youth Championships at the Ocala International 1-Star in the spring. So Galway Blazer, 15th after dressage on 35.8, about to come out of the start box. Whilst coming towards the farmyard, Fernhill Chaos and Sammy Crandell, whilst Caitlin Rudd, Up To You de Larage, clear fence 16, the Rock Oxer. So going down the hill now to the cavalry camp. So Galway Blazer away and over the first. Fernhill Chaos, Sammy Crandell here coming towards the water. Here the moose drop into the water. Oh, very sticky at the fish, but they're okay. I just want to kick on now. They can lose a little bit of power splashing through the water here. They get back onto dry land. Actually chose a really good line. Got back onto dry land nice and early to approach that corner. Well, I think we've got another one inside the time. Caitlin Rudd and Up To You de Larage. 13th after dressage, clear and inside the time would move them up into the top 10 going into the final day. The lowest they could place is 9th. Six minutes, 53 seconds, we're told. Ryan Wood, Galway Blazer, clear 3, 4 and 5 in very quick succession. And galloping now this Irish shore side towards the roll top to corner at 6AB. Sammy Crandell, Fernhill Chaos, clear fence 13, A, B and C, the coffin fence just behind the VIP. And now clear fence 14. So next up for them is the Louisiana Bayou, the double offences in the second main water combination. Sammy Crandell, Fernhill Chaos, clear through the Bayou. 6 jumping efforts to go. The Rock Ox are the first of those 6. Sammy Crandell, Fernhill Chaos, clear the cavalry camp going on to the Western Village. We've got one coming towards the farmyard as well. That's Ryan Wood riding Galway Blazer, and a new starter, Brianna Maroney and Carly Yadu, number 721. Carly Yadu and Brianna, 6th after dressage on 32.4 penalties. Brianna from Area 6 attends Woodside Priory. Combination placed 2nd in the Fresno County Horse Park, 1 star. Brianna also runs track and field for her high school, a member of the National Honor Society. Jackson, as Carly Yadu is known, has completed right up to the intermediate level in the United States and Canada and placed 2nd with Brianna, as we said, in that Fresno Horse Park 1 star earlier on this year. Ryan Wood and Galway Blazer blaze a trail through the waters here below us at 9 ABC and 10. They go on to fence 11, the picnic table. A little bit of a stocking filler before they turn back to the Hobbit House to brush at 12 AB. So new starter Brianna Maroney and Carly Yadu are the first of the 4th rider rotation. So starting into the final rider for each of the teams in the North American Junior Championships, part of the Adequan FEI North American Youth Championships presented by Gotham North. Six minutes 42 is the time taken for Sammy Crandell and Fernhill Chaos, so easily inside the time allowed of 7 minutes. Ryan Wood and Galway Blazer. It sounds like they might have had 2 refusals down there at fence 12, which would put them on 60 penalties. Number 722 leaves the start box, Haley Kospekin in centre stage, 2nd after dressage on 29 penalties. Haley for Area 2, part of the Area 2 team that were in gold medal position after dressage as well. This horse centre stage has been up to the 3-star level at Fairhill and Carolina International, and with Haley Carspec in very well top 5 at the Virginia CCI1 star. Also did well in the intermediate at Carolina International. Haley in centre stage on their 29 penalties. Brianna Maroney, Carly Yardoo approaching the corner at fence 10, clear of that out of the second water splash. Ryan Wood and Galway Blazer, they look to have been pretty nippy all the way around this track. They're coming now to the western town. 2 fences to be jumped here inside this combination, 18A and B. And over the last for Galway Blazer and charging on towards the finish line in this North American Junior Championships. Of course, Galway Blazer with the 60 jumping penalties for those 2 stops at fence 12. I think it's the first time it's caused problems in the 1-star. The Hobbit has to brush. 7 minutes 25 seconds. So that will be 10 time penalties to go with the 60 jumping penalties for Ryan Wood and Galway Blazer. Brianna Maroney and Carly Yardoo are furthest around the track. They should be in the area of the coffin by now at 13A and B. Haley Carspeckin in centre stage, our most recent starter, over there at 6A and B. They're jumping both elements of that as I speak. Looks good, and they come now back towards the brush at 7. So clear the brush in the middle of the track. Haley Carspeckin riding centre stage. They come on to the farmyard next. Getting ready in the start box is going to be Georgia Dillard with Galileo WP, 8th after dressage on 33.1. Indeed, they are an hour away and heading to the train at 1. Clear both parts of the farmyard at 8A and B. Haley Carspeckin, centre stage. Hoping to stand centre stage tomorrow at the top of the junior podium, but best they can hope for today is second overnight, because our leader has already been around and inside the time. That was Dasset Profile and Mackenzie Wickman. Haley Carspeckin centre stage through the 2 waters just below us. 9 ABC, 10 the corner, going on to fence 11, the picnic table. Here at the Western Village is their predecessor on course, Brianna Maroney, Carly Yardoo. 6th on 32.4 penalties. Carly Yardoo could move up to at least 4th with a clear inside the time. Well, they are clear. The question is, have they been inside the optimum time of 7 minutes around this 1-star track? "11 seconds over, so that's going to be 4.4 time penalties to add for Carly Yardoo, owned and ridden by Brianna Maroney. So Haley Carspeckin centre stage on 29 penalties, second after dressage, around in the area of the coffin. They've just jumped fence 12, they're going on to fence 13. Georgia Dillard, Galileo WP. The dark horse galloping out towards 6AB, the roll top to corner. Very clear the brush at 7. Georgia Dillard, Galileo, WP. 2 more to start. Harper Click and Ruby are next to start there in bronze medal position after dressage on 29.7. And we're going to get Centre Sage and Hayley Carr-Specken home soon. We'll know, start to have a real feel for how this podium is going to look going into the final day. So, bronze medalist after dressage is out. Rubia, ridden by Harper Click, leaving the start box going to the train. Over the farmyard at 8A and B is Galileo WP, ridden by Georgia Dillard. Georgia and Galileo WP. Second place at the American Eventing Championships divisions 2 years in a row. Had a good second place finish at the CCI1 start at Virginia. Just almost left a leg there over the fish coming out of the water. Rolled forward over the shoulder, but sat back up in time and now clear of the corner coming out of the second splash. Harper Click and Rubia, who are latest starters, Mount Si High School student. They took a win at Copper Meadows at the prelim level. Took a 7th place finish in the 1 star in June of this year at Aspen Farms over on the west coast. And Rubia, Harper Click's ride, is affectionately known as the Pumpkin. Hayley Carr-Specken and Centre Stage inside the time, 6 minutes 58 seconds, so they'll hold on to silver going into the final day. Georgia Dillard, Galileo, WP clear at fence 14, the Honeybed table, setting up now for the Bayou down by the Brick House over at fence 6AB in the interim. We have Harper Click riding Rubia, riding for an individual medal in these championships at the moment. Harper, an Area 7 rider, so actually pretty local here as well. And we should have our last junior rider lining up in the start box. It's going to be Layla Sachs riding Mr. Bojangles. 9th position on 33.5 for them. Her clearing inside the time could move them up to top 5 going into the final day tomorrow. Harper Click and Rubia clear both elements of the farmyard at 8, just swinging out now to find their line through the water at 9, A, B and C. Georgia Dillard, Galileo, WP jumping in through the saloon doors at the western town, jumping the second element there as well, just nestled amongst the trees, going on to the final fence. And Georgia Dillard and Galileo, WP, they're going to move up from 8th to 4th with a clear inside the time by our reckoning here over the junior championship track. 33.1, they'll stay on that dressage score. We'll get that confirmed in a moment. 6 minutes and 51 seconds for Georgia Dillard and Galileo WP. So just 2 scores left to achieve. Harper Click and Rubia, the furthest around the course, and waiting to start, Layla Sachs and Mr. Bojangles. Clear fence 11, the picnic table setting up now for the Hobbit House to brush at 12 AB. Harper Click riding Rubia. And Harper wants to be clear and inside the time to hold on to third position in the Junior Championships individual classification. Harper, Click and Ruby at clear fence 15. That is the Bayou. Just a couple to go. 6 more jumping efforts. The Rock Oxer is the first of them. I look across to just see them jump that. Again, in its own little patch of trees there, that Rock Oxer. They'll go on down the hill towards the cavalry camp. So number 726 leads the start box. Layla Saxon, Mr. Bojangles. Number 725, Canyon Walker, elected to withdraw earlier in the day. So it is 726 that comes now. Ninth after dressage on 33.5. A clearing inside the time would move them top 5. Harper, Click and Rubia are over the last and safely home, leaving us with this one final competitor on course in the North American Junior Championships. Our thanks to Adequan, long-time title sponsors of what was the North American Junior Young Rider Championships, now named the Adequan FEI North American Youth Championships. Multi-sport championships will see dressage and show jumping taking place in early August in Old Salem Farm in upstate New York as well. And our thanks also to Gotham North, presenting sponsors. We'd like to thank also the support received from US Equestrian, the national governing body for equestrian sport here in the United States, and Equine Canada. 6 minutes 56 for Harper, Click and Rubia, so they stay in bronze medal position on 29.7. No change to the podium in the juniors after cross country. Leonard Sachs and Mr. Bojangles, our final rider of the competition here in the Adequan FEI North American Youth Championships presented by Gotham North. Coming to the water. Just picking up the pace here a little bit as they find their line through the three elements it is now as they clear the fish at 9A, B and C. Layla from Area 3 attends Atlanta Country Day. Placed well in the Ocala Jockey Club 1-star and the Ocala International 1-star this spring. This horse with Buck Davidson aboard, Mr. Bojangles, won the United States Eventing Association Young Event Horse East Coast 5-year-old Championship Final. So riding positively in through the water after having the stop the first time around, Mr. Bojangles and Lila Sachs. So carrying the 20 penalties as they go on to the backstretch. Clear the coffin at 13 for Lila and Mr. Bojangles. So on they go from there to the Honey Bear table at 14 and then the Bayou at 15 AB. Lila Sachs and Mr. Bojangles clear the canoe and the brush down in the Bayou at 15 A and B. On they go from there to the Rock Oxer. As we say, 6 jumping efforts from home. They're carrying the 20 jumping penalties from the first water. Clear of that Rock Oxer, Lila Sachs and Mr. Bojangles. It's all downhill from here for them as they go on to the Cavalry Camp. Cavalry Camp 17 AB. Lila Sachs and Mr. Bojangles through the western town. Just one to go to bring the North American Junior Championships cross country to its conclusion here to Rebecca Farm. We'll see how the individuals and team scores stack up in just a moment. But Lila Sachs and Mr. Bojangles, the final team rider of the day, final rider of the day in the Junior Championships, complete the course. We're going to get our fence judge volunteers moved once again, one last time, as necessary to run the long format Senior 1-star here at Rebecca Farm. And we'll be getting underway with that in about a 10-15 minutes time. $16 time faults, we understand, for Mr. Bojangles and Lila Sachs, and also their 20 jumping faults. It's going to put them on 69.5. In the team results, Area 2 remain the leaders, now on a score of 101.2. Area 4 and 7 together are second on 102.1, so less than a penalty behind. 105.2 for bronze medal position, Area 5, the 3-strong team. Area 1 is now a 3-strong team. They're in 4th on 113.7. Area 3, 5th on 144.8. And Area 6 and 8, 6th on 152.4. In the individual classification, 10th overnight will go to Callie Cool and Isabella Gunningham. 9th, Frodo of the Shire and Catherine Christopher. 8th, Carly Yadu and Brianna Maroney. 7th, Up to You, Durage, ridden by Caitlin Rudd. And we have a tie for 5th. Little Oliver and India Doyle and Olivia Wall riding Mandolin R. In fact, Mandolin R will be 6th because they had time penalties. Little Oliver and India Doyle will be 5th because they were inside the time. 4th, Galileo WP, Georgia Dillard. 3rd, Rubia and Harper Click. 2nd, Centre Stage, Hayley Kospekin. And leader, overnight, in gold medal position, Dassett Profile and Mackenzie Wickman, but only by 0.4 of a penalty.